here's Brody Brazil.
Hey, welcome back to this series detailing 2023 player profiles for the Oakland.S. This time around, it's a compelling individual, Shintaro Fujinami, who just signed with the franchise yesterday officially at team headquarters. He's a newcomer in a lot of different ways, straight from Japan. He's 28 years old. He stands a whopping 6 feet 6 inches tall and checks in at 216 pounds. So long, lanky, a very imposing figure when he's in cleats and standing on that mound. He's a starting right-handed pitcher. Oh yeah, by the way, should have mentioned that from the top. And he's on a 1-year contract with the green and gold. But obviously at 28 years old, he's no rookie to professional baseball. He spent his only 10 seasons of pro ball in Japan, and the only team he ever played for are the Hanshin Tigers. Now, in the last decade of pro baseball, 57-54 record. I'll detail why that's important in just a second. But 10 years of a 3.41 career ERA and 189 games pitched. Most of those were games started. Some of those were in relief. In terms of performance, 1,011 strikeouts recorded across 994 and a third innings pitched. And his walk ratio per 9 innings is 4.15. So probably a little higher than he'd like it, although last year he was able to cut that number down. We'll get into 2022 momentarily. Over his career, he's allowed a 2.44 average to opponent hitters. So I'm going to throw a lot of stats out at you here, but again, reminder, this is all from Japanese professional baseball, not minor league baseball, not the big leagues. How does it convert? How does it translate? What does it mean to the type of player he could be in Oakland? I mean, I think a lot of this is a question mark. I'm just trying to paint a baseline picture of who this individual has been for the last decade. He was highly touted, by the way, right out of high school in Japan. A lot of teams were fighting for his services. Okay, 2022 in review for him. Only a 3-5 record, a 3.38 ERA, 16 games total played in. 10 of those were starts. He also made some minor league starts, which we'll talk about in a second. He did walk 21 across 66 and 2/3 innings last year. So like I said, he cut down the free passes. If anything else, that's a good sign entering Major League Baseball. We know how costly those can be, especially for the Oakland.S recently. He also pitched 9 games for Hanshin's minor league affiliate last year. He went 4-1 in those games, a 1.77 ERA, 50 strikeouts in those 9 games. So obviously when facing the lesser competition, he's still got it. But again, his season last year was split between the big league club in Japan and the minor league affiliate. He also recorded his 1,000th career strikeout last year. That happened on September 9th. So a player with a ton of background, a ton of accolades. It's just how does it translate to this continent and to Major League Baseball? I'll go back to his 57 career wins. I know this says 22 review. This is kind of more of a career review. Of the 57 career wins in Japan, it's important you know that 35 of them came between 2013 when he entered that league and 2015. Those were kind of his biggest and best seasons. In fact, it felt like 15 was really the year that he had the most success. He has thrown 12 complete games, but 7 of those came in that highly touted 2015 season. I'm just trying to paint that picture. The first 3 years in Japan dominated. Ever since then, the numbers have just not been exactly the same. He's only allowed 61 homers across 994 innings pitched. I think that tells a story. Again, is that also in part due to dimensions of Japanese ballparks, or the home run is not as big there? I can't speak to that conversion rate. I really can't. But he's not a pitcher who is accustomed to giving up the long ball. I'll also tell you, in terms of maximum efforts here, the most innings he's ever pitched in a calendar year or in a baseball season, 199 back in 2015. And in one game in 2016, July 8th, 2016, he threw 161 pitches in a game. Now, that game was not going favorably for him. It was not like he was on perfect game or no-hitter alert. It was actually quite the opposite. But it just goes to show he's capable of well over 100 pitches, or at least he was 7 years ago, 7 years ago. But I think that 199 innings pitched as a maximum back in 2015, I mean, that's a number 200 innings you would love to aim for in the major leagues. How many starts, how many innings can Fuji pitch in 2023 for the Oakland A's? Going to be part of a rotation that needs it, obviously, and no disrespect to the bullpen. Every rotation needs pitchers that can stretch out. But he's a starter who has never really, seen a lot of the 200-plus inning season. Again, the maximum he was ever at is 199. Most of his seasons have been far less. I think even last year he was right around the 100 mark, the 99 to 100 inning mark. So how does all of this get us to 2023 with Fuji? Well, we know the A's need starters. Their rotation is still being built from the ground up. There's a couple dependable arms that you'd like to lean on. Obviously, starting with Paul Blackburn, hopefully, as long as all the injuries are taken care of. Same thing with James Caprillion, and Cole Irvin has been an innings eater for Oakland each of the last couple years. So you're kind of starting there. You're adding Fuji to the mix of this, but there's just a lot of variables, right? And you think about him, the variables plus the change of scenery, coming to this new continent, and I mean for an extended period of time, living here, traveling here, seeing Arizona for more than a month of spring training after pitchers and catchers report. There's going to be the language barrier for him. And granted, I saw him speak English pretty fluently and pretty well yesterday. That's awesome. But I'm just saying, over the course of a season with a translator, things like that, they start to wear at you. They work fine. It's been done in baseball all the time, but it doesn't make it as easy of a shift for him versus everybody else. A change of scenery might also do him well. He's had success before. It's been a while on a consistent basis as how he started in Japan. By the way, I should tell you, he throws a mid-90s fastball. The slider is his big secondary pitch. But I think the biggest question is longevity. I'd love to see him get out of the gate to a really good start. But how does the season go by June and July and August? When we get to the dog days, can he still pitch every fifth and sixth day? Can he make 27 to 30 starts this year? How does that go for Fuji? I think a lot of that remains to be seen. How rested and ready is he for a big, heavy workload of baseball, one that he maybe has never seen, maybe one that he just hasn't seen in 6 or 7 or 8 years. So there's a lot of questions here. I like the A's for trying this. I like the A's for literally going global to find Fuji and to put him on their radar and to make this happen. And hey, I mean, I'm not saying this negatively, like what do you have to lose, but maybe you find something amazing here. Honestly, maybe you find something untapped. And certainly there's not a huge book out on him. He's not been playing in the minor leagues. He's been overseas. Yeah, there's video and tape and a lot of stuff to review, but everybody who faces him is going to be seeing him in Major League Baseball for the first time. So Shintaro Fujinami, excited for him to join the Oakland A's. That's been his 2023 player profile. I'll have lots more of these coming out in the near future. So thumbs up on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff just like this. See you next time.